I don't know that this could have gone any worse for House Republicans.
You know, we have failed to pass comprehensive immigration reform up here for decades. But if you listen to the witnesses, some of them, and if you listen to my colleagues, you would think the world didn't begin until President Biden was elected. You would think it was dinosaurs, the wheel, Jesus, the world was flat, the world was round, Biden was elected, every problem. Like nothing happened before. You know, people pretend like everything was just perfect. But you know what? One of my colleagues, when bringing up statistics, showed why this is a farce. She brought up that President Obama deported more people than President Trump. In fact, President Obama deported more people in each term than President Trump. Well, hold on a second. If the border wasn't a problem until President Biden was elected, then how were we deporting all of these people in administrations before Trump was elected? It's because this situation has been going on for decades. So stop lying to the American people that none of this happened until President Biden was elected.
Tell you what, I know that Republicans pretend that they hate censorship, but if there is one thing they hate worse, it's Congressman Jared Moskowitz giving their whole game away. And their game is actually really simple if you've been paying attention. Wail about the border on an endless loop, but especially in an election year. Fearmonger to your conservative base that brown people are coming to invade your communities. Drum up as much xenophobia as possible. And then when you're presented with an opportunity to actually, fix it, an opportunity to do your job and legislate, suddenly it's crickets from the same people who only 5 minutes earlier were claiming that the issue of immigration is existential. So as not to bury the lead for another second, the fact is that Republicans can't have this issue solved because they need it to run on. It is way, way, way more useful as a cudgel to wield against Democrats than anything else. And so they'll pretend that they want desperately to fix it, and when given the opportunity to fix it, they will run in the other direction faster than Josh Hawley when confronted with a mob of insurrectionists who he himself incited. Need proof that that's what's happening? Here's Jared Moskowitz again.
By the way, they don't want to solve this issue either. Again, don't listen to me. Just listen to the speaker, who was caught on a call the other day saying that we can't solve the border crisis until after the election. By the way, here's Congressman Troy Nehls giving it all away. Giving it all away. Let's read this. Let me tell you, he's talking about immigration, let me tell you, I'm not willing to do a darn thing right now to help a Democrat, to help Joe Biden's approval rating. I will not help the Democrats try to improve this man's dismal approval ratings. I'm not going to do it. He's saying he's not going to do anything on the border. And he's from Texas, which needs help. He's not going to do anything because he doesn't want to give Joe Biden a win. You have members of this committee that have threatened to vacate the speaker again if they do anything on the border. Senator John Thune has said this is a unique opportunity. He said when Trump was president and Republicans controlled both chambers, they couldn't get done the policies that are being discussed now. So look, I'm willing to do stuff on the border. I'm willing to do it. But they're not willing to do it because they're doing what people hate about this place. They want to use it to raise money. They want to use it to politicize it. But they don't want to solve the issue. There's a deal on the table. They can solve the issue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
To Moskowitz's point, think about it. Republicans had full control of government starting in January of 2017 when Trump was elected. They controlled the White House, the Senate, and the House. And so you would think, after years and years and years of grandstanding about the evil communist Democrats and how they're trying to replace white voters with voters of color as part of some long-standing scheme to replace the electorate and usher in permanent Democratic rule, a pretty intense charge, that their first priority would be immigration reform. And yet you would be shocked to learn that not only wasn't it their first priority, it wasn't a priority at all. They never did any immigration reform. They gave themselves a tax cut, sure, but fix the issue that they've been wailing about for decades? Nope, because the problem is more useful for them than the solution. Here's Jasmine Crockett laying out just some of the solutions put forward by Democrats.
Clear President Biden has tried to give state and local governments and nonprofits federal resources to support temporary food, shelter, and other services, but MAGA House Republicans are refusing to give those cities and states those resources. President Biden has tried to put 1,300 more Border Patrol agents at the border to help, but Republicans have obstructed that request. Republicans want to cut the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. President Biden has tried to give our border agents 100 new cutting-edge inspection devices and add 1,000 additional law enforcement personnel. Republicans obstructed that request. Honestly, I can't tell if y'all are for anything other than obstruction and cruelty. Just take a look at my governor last week. He said, and I quote, "The only thing we're not doing is we're not shooting people who come across the border because, of course, the Biden administration would charge us with murder." I know Governor Abbott doesn't understand the law, but let me say this, that absolutely would be murder.
But again, they would rather have the problem to campaign on than any semblance of an actual solution. And so they will do everything in their power to now stop Democrats from fixing the very issue that they claim to want to fix, all because they think it'll help Republicans take back power in Congress and in the White House. And that's an issue that Jamie Raskin laid out pretty clearly.
Rather than joining Democrats and Biden in good faith bipartisan negotiations to make progress on immigration, they are taking orders from Donald Trump and actively obstructing a bipartisan border deal. Just as Trump is openly hoping for an economic downturn in our robust, low unemployment economy, they're hoping for chaos at the border and trying to stop us from preventing it. These tactics are accompanied by dangerous rhetoric. MAGA Republicans continue to invoke white supremacist, anti-immigration fantasies and conspiracy theories. It's been almost a full year since I invited the good chairman and my Republican colleagues to join oversight Democrats in condemning the Great Replacement theory, and still they fail to denounce this shameful doctrine, which has been invoked by numerous racist and anti-Semitic mass shooters and murderers across the country. America is not a great country in spite of immigrants. We're a great country because of immigrants.
So if you're a Republican, here's my message to you. You are being played. Your politicians will work you up into a frenzy on this issue, but if and when it comes time to actually do something about it, they will block it because they want to exploit your rage to consolidate power for themselves. If that wasn't the exact case, then they would take yes for an answer. Right now, Democrats are offering massive concessions to Republicans on the border, the lone issue that the GOP claims needs to be fixed. And listen to this response today from Mike Johnson. "I don't think now is the time for comprehensive immigration reform because we know how complicated that is. I do think it's past time to secure the border." So they're content to complain about it now, but not fix it now. All the while, in the exact same breath, claiming that it's past time to fix it, even though, again, they won't actually do that. You are being taken for fools, and that is by design. Because while Republicans may claim to hate the left, there is no one they hate more than their own supporters.